Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the connection between your perception of sexuality and your life. Many of you might be thinking, what big impact does sex have on your life? And you might be thinking, well, maybe marriage and childbirth or disease or crime or something else that's a big deal should have a greater impact. But actually, your perception of sexuality is the rudder that steers your life. Sexuality may be nothing, but it can also be everything. We often say it's all in the mind, and this is true. No matter what kind of environment we are in, our happiness or unhappiness is determined by how we perceive it and how our mind works. But it is the zest mind working within the mind that creates this mind. Although it is not recognized by the consciousness, it is responsible for healing stress and treating wounds by supplying energy to the mind, or on the contrary, worsening wounds and stress. Therefore, the body and mind can be healthy due to the work of the zest mind, or on the contrary, the body and mind can be destroyed by the zest mind. Most importantly, most people associate zest mind with sexual actions. However, sexual actions are merely a manifestation of the zest mind's work on the mind. Also, the work of the zest mind and the mind changes depending on what perceptions and ideas we have about sexual actions. In fact, the zest mind is just a constant source of energy, and it is the mind's job to use that energy in ways that either promote happiness or unhappiness. For example, sexual actions may be perceived as being very negative for someone. They have formed memories that make sexual actions uncomfortable, annoying, painful, or frustrating. For others, it is perceived as being very positive. It's enjoyable, fun, loving, and pleasurable. Sexual actions can be all of the life's highs and lows, but the problem is that stereotypes are often applied only in one direction. Sexual actions are a double-edged sword that can be very painful and unhappy for some, or healing and revitalizing for others. When a distorted perception of sexuality takes hold, sexual actions can become extremely pleasure-oriented or the opposite, extremely aversive. This is because the emotions generated in the mind by the distorted concept of sexuality are set up that way. In such a case, psychological disorders are caused by the energy of the zest mind being supplied to the mind for pursuing excessive pleasure or for excessive nurturing of wounds. When we think of sexuality, we usually think of it in an eroticized way as a sexual act between a man and a woman. But sexual action is the result of the workings of the zest mind and mind. And it is not just about pleasure or love. If you have the right perception of sexuality and understand how it works in essence, you can use it as a rudder to help you heal your stresses and treat your wounds and live happily ever after. Having sex itself is just a sexual action that pleases your sensory organs and generates temporary positive moods that you can turn around and forget no matter how many fancy techniques you know and apply. When you know how human mind and sexuality work behind the scenes, you can use sexual actions appropriately to make your mind and psychology healthy and happy, and live the life you want.